You are listening to Hello Cupcake It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, a podcast, and today is August 1st, 2024. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to youtube.com/Hello Cupcake It's Me to check out the vlog that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. Then head on over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to give the blog some love. And make sure that you follow me on all the different social medias, and then check out my upcoming book coming out November 2024 at www.cdsthebook.com. So, how is everybody doing? Well, I don't know what's going on with me right this moment, but over the last few days, we've had some really weird weather here in the Pacific Northwest. And, like Sunday night, the barometric pressure just changed drastically. And we've been having like some super, super humid weather to the point where it's just like fucking disgusting outside. And it just feels heavy. And, like, I coined the term humidities because, women and heavy-set people will understand the humidity aspect of this all, but, like, you just get sweaty all over the place. And that's what it's been like the last few days, where it's just been really yucky, and not only is it just hot, but it's humid hot also. So I've been living life up under my air conditioner for like the last week and a half, and the other night I opened my window for like the very first time in probably 2-3 weeks, if not longer, just to like get some fresh air in the house or whatever. And that's when like my sinuses and everything started really like acting a fool. And then this Monday was the first time that I've been able to get back into the pool since, what was it, Labor Day or Memorial Day? I can't remember which one it was, but like, anyways, it's been like 2.5 months. And so, when I dove in, there was a lot of chlorine that shot up my nose and just kind of like caused some irritation, and so I don't know if I'm trying to come down with a cold or what the hell's going on, but whatever it is, I am battling it tooth and freaking nail right now. I have been utilizing like herbal remedies. I make this fermented honey that you put garlic in raw, unfiltered local honey, and you just let it ferment, and it just gets really super yummy. It pulls all of the good healing stuff out of the garlic and infuses it into the honey, and I make that like once a year or two. I'll make up a big jar of it and then just like add 4 or 5 heads of garlic to it and just use that until it gets completely used up. So I have that going right now, and I've been using that. And then I've also been using this elderberry syrup concoction that I make with elderberries and vodka, and I let that steep for a little while, and then I'll start using it too. So like over the last couple of nights, I've been using butterfly pea tea, the honey garlic, cinnamon, sugar, and orange peel. and like the rise coffee mushrooms, like all the mushrooms that are in the rise coffee, like the lion's mane and shiitake and stuff like that. I have a powder that's just the mushrooms, and I've been using that and making up a really nice tea every night that's just been divine. So tonight I went to Kroger and I got myself a couple of little bottles of vodka and a lemon, and so I'm going to make up a small batch of the elderberry stuff in one of the little bottles of vodka, and just utilize the lemon rind for my tea tonight. And I don't know if you've ever used a neti pot or even know what a neti pot is, but anyways, you get this like saline solution that you add to some distilled water, and you mix that all up, and then you use it to irrigate your sinuses. So I did that a little while ago, and that really felt good, but I can already feel that my sinuses are starting to like kind of clog back up. But when I was at Kroger earlier, I picked up some Zicam nose spray, and then I also picked up some daytime and nighttime cold and cough syrup that helps with congestion and stuff like that, because like I said, I am not about ready to allow this shit to take me down. I don't do sick well, and like I am the epitome of the freaking man cold. So if I start to get sick, it just goes downhill from there, and I got too much that I need to do. I need to like focus on doing the community events for the book. I need to focus on making brooms for the witch's walk, and I also need to get back into going to the pool, and so I can't do any of that if I am laid up and sick. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Fun times had by none. But yeah, so if you haven't done so already, you guys need to get to a movie theater and go see Wolverine and the Deadpool Wolverine movie. It is fucking hilarious. Oh my god, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but you gotta go see it. Do not take your kids though. Like, this is a PSA. Do not take your children. If they are like 13, 14, 15, yeah, but really 10 and under, yeah, I just would not take your little kids with you. The tweens and teens, the tweens maybe, the teens definitely. But there is a lot of sexual humor. There's a lot of innuendos. There's just a lot of crude Deadpool type stuff. So, yeah, you really don't want to take your kids to go see that. Like I said, the tweens and teens, okay. And if you're any kind of a comic book nerd, or just a regular run-of-the-mill nerd, you will see that there was a lot of stuff that came out of San Diego Comic-Con this last week. And one of them was the trailer for Season 3 of Interview with a Vampire, the Vampire Lestat. And so, if you don't know already, let me inform you, I am a huge Interview with a Vampire fan. I love the books. That's how I was first introduced to the books. The very first novel that I read, like, for pleasure, was the Interview with... it was actually the Vampire Lestat, not realizing that the books were out of order. So I went back and read the Interview with the Vampire, and then I watched the movie right around the same time, like in the 90s. I think it was like 94 or 95 when it came out, and that's the first time that I watched the movie. Then I went back and reread Interview with a Vampire, and then from like 90, we'll just say like 95, 96, up until a few years ago, like 2013, 2014. I've spent all that time reading all the other Anne Rice's books, and I am an extremely slow reader because I suffer with dyslexia, and so it takes me a long time to get through a book. And I've noticed that as I've gotten a little bit older, I cannot sit down through an audiobook like I used to. I just, too much is going on in my head, and like I get ADHD squirrel brain. So that aside, though, I am a huge Anne Rice fan, especially, like I said, of the Vampire Chronicles. So to say that I kind of know them inside and out is a understatement. And so when I first saw that they were adapting Interview with a Vampire to TV screen, I was super freaking excited, except for the fact that I was kind of upset at the idea of Louis being a black man, because in the books it gives you the impression that he was white, and in the movie he was portrayed as white because he was played by Brad Pitt. And so subsequently, there was a lot of things that him and Lestat did that were like the upper echelon of society that you wouldn't expect to see a person of color being able to move in and out of the dregs of those societal affairs. And so the TV show really did an amazing job in like showcasing how, even though he was a person of color, that he was also still somewhat affluential, but wasn't affluential enough to skirt the racism of the time. So, the season 1 and season 2 really covered Interview with a Vampire pretty thoroughly. Now, season 3, from the premise of it, looks like it's going to cover books 3 and 4, which is the Vampire Lestat, so that's book 2, and book 3, which is Queen of the Damned. So, really, really interesting to see how this is all going to play out. And if you want to just watch the movies and not really get into the books too much, then definitely watch Interview with a Vampire and Queen of the Damned with Stuart Townsend and Aaliyah. It was actually Aaliyah's final movie. She was killed in a plane crash halfway through, and I think it was her sister that had to play Akasha in the last couple of parts of the movie. But both really good movies, and I've seen both probably 80 times at least. And then we also got a Robert Downey Jr. sighting at Comic-Con, and he's adorning Dr. Doom's mask, and I don't understand how they're going to play RDJ off as Dr. Doom when he's already been Iron Man. I haven't done that deep of a dive into it, and I don't remember anything in the comics talking about it, him switching over and becoming Dr. Doom. I don't know. I'm not that well versed in the comics. I know a lot about the comic books and a lot about the cartoon shows and the characters themselves or whatever, but not really that deep of a dive in that aspect. So that's enough for me geeking out right now. Anyways, So yeah, just a lot of really interesting things happening in the comic book nerd movie entertainment industry, and a lot of shit happening with the Olympics. And I'm sorry, I am 100% for the opening ceremonies of the Olympics because I know my history and I know about the Greek gods and the Greek pantheon and stuff like that, and uh, know a little bit about art history and so on and so forth. And having been a religious major, it was actually one of the things that I was majoring in when I was going to college was religion, with a minor in earth-based religions, and so we had to cover a lot of mythologies and you know, doing kind of a deep dive on Greek mythology versus Christian mythology and so on and so forth. And yeah, so uh, I absolutely laugh at how butthurt certain groups of people have become over all of that, and like just talking about how it was horrible and it was woke and it was this and that and the other thing. And like, you know, woke is not a bad thing. You want to wake up, you want to experience things. Like the Sydney Olympics in the 90s had basically a full-on LGBTQ parade happening with dinosaurs on motorcycles. And back then it was like revolutionary and groundbreaking and just like awe-inspiring. But in today's society, it's seen through a lens that is somehow wrong and shameful and what the hell ever else. And it's like, no. And I actually had a friend of mine unfriend me on Facebook about like everything that went on, and I was like, you know what, fine. If you want to throw away over 35 years of friendship over some bullshit that you don't even really believe in, or that you didn't believe in back when we used to kick it all the time, cool, fine, whatever, high five was all around. I'm just like, you know, you cannot put your whole chest into a statement and then turn around and like dig your feet into the sand and refuse to allow any new information to come into your life because you think you know what you're talking about. And one of the things that like absolutely irritates me as somebody who studies mental health, lives with mental health, and literally just wrote a damn book about mental health is people's presumptions and misinterpretation and uneducated ideas and knowledge about what mental health actually really is. And so, you know, that was one thing that I brought up was like, just because you think that it is a mental health disorder does not make it so. There are tons and tons and tons of paperwork and titans within their industries who have wrote about this, talking about how sexuality and sexual orientation and whatever else is like a spectrum, that there's all these different things. And you know, just because you think it's a mental defect, it is actually not a mental defect. And you know, I provided websites and like actual information from like the American Psychological Council and like places like that. I even provided like UK based information, and they're just like, you know what, I'm not going to read all of this bullshit because, you know, you're not going to convince me otherwise, blah blah. And I'm just like, well, what if your kids happen to turn out to be part of the LGBT community? And are you still going to feel this way? And if so, you might as well just walk away from having your children now, because they don't need to grow up in a household where they can't even trust their father with their well-being. And so, we just had this little argument on Facebook, and it's like, no, you're not going to come talking out of the side of your neck about shit you literally have no idea about, especially to someone like me who studies it. I take classes, I attend lectures, I watch TED Talks, I am state certified as a peer counselor. You're not going to tell me what is and is not a mental health condition, especially if you are using religion and politics to back your claims. Sorry, it's not going to happen. And even if you are going to utilize religion to back your claims, if your God is supposed to be the creator of all things, and we are supposed to be a reflection thereof that God, then you are doing a disservice to your very own God by hating something that is a part of him. God is man, God as a woman, God as a child, God is a dog, God is a cat, God is gay, God is straight, God is lesbian, God is bisexual, God is Down syndrome, God is all of these things. By your standards, by your definition, all these things are a reflection of your deity. So, yeah, anyways, all that to say that 35 years of friendship may have flown out the window, and I really could care less, honestly, at this point, because have your faith, have your political ideas, but do not impose your faith and your political ideas on those around you. America is not Christian. America was founded by non-Christian founding fathers to be a land of religious freedoms. That's why it's written into the Constitution. That's why it's written into the Bill of Rights, so that all people could live and represent themselves as they see fit. So, yeah. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about that subject, and the fact that I know that this particular person has dealt with mental health issues, and if you consider alcohol and drug use part of a mental health spectrum, which many people do nowadays, I'm sorry, I do not. You don't choose to have cancer. You don't choose to be bipolar. You don't choose to be depressed. You don't choose to be schizophrenic. You do choose to pick up a bottle and start drinking. You do choose to pick up a cigarette and start smoking. You do choose to pick up, a glass pipe and start smoking that crystal meth or that speed or that what the hell ever. The chemical change in your brain could be linked to that, but those are choices that you made that set you down that path. Once you have the chemical dependency, yes, then I could kind of understand how it works in with mental health or whatever, but as a choice, you do not choose to be mentally ill. You do choose to be an addict. By starting it, by continuing to look for it, by not looking for help before it gets to a place of, being out of control. Again, that's my own opinion until I am faced with factoids and things to help me form a different opinion. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how I feel right now. As an addict myself, I know. And like, if you didn't know that about me, I used to have a pill addiction when I was younger. When I was 9 or 10 years old, I was handed a huge 90-day supply of Valium and was given absolutely no adult supervision over the pills or anything like that. I was told by my therapist, take one of these if you are feeling mad, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling whatever, take one of these. Not take 1 pill a day, 2 pills a day, 3 pills a day. It was just take one of these. So I was taking 4 or 5 Valium a day. And I went through that 90-day supply in less than 2 weeks. And had one hell of a withdrawal from it, and I didn't know that I was having a withdrawal, but anyways, that's a different story for a different time. I noticed that I am starting to run out of time here, so all of this to say, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have taken some time to like and subscribe and check out YouTube and check out the upcoming book. With it being August 1st, that means that I only have 3 months left until I need to get everything situated and finalized. So if you guys would like to help out with that and give me a little bit of sponsorship, that would be amazing. You can find out information about that at cdsthebook.com. So until next time, I will talk to you then. Stay safe and sane. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.